Now that it's June, I figured I can give y'all an official mid-year update of my 2024 purchases. Now, this isn't going to be a collective video because A, that would make this video too long, and B, I just want to live in denial a little longer because I shopped more than I needed to. So instead, I'm just going to show you the best and worst of what I've bought in terms of designer clothing, shoes, jewelry, and handbags. So yes, now I am being very dramatic when I say worst. None of these are an utter fail, but I am trying to adopt more of the, if it's not a heck yes, it's a heck no mentality to shopping. Unless it's under a certain price point, then it does seem to be more of a why the heck not situation. Not saying that's a good thing, that's just what it is. So while I don't regret 99% of my worst purchases, they are nonetheless items that did not hit the heck yes mark for me. Now, if there are others out there who would like to chime in and share their best and worst clothing, shoes, jewelry, and handbag purchases for the first half of 2024, please do. I love watching these videos. I find them super entertaining and helpful. So thank you so much for watching. Now, before we get started, you may be wondering why my Picotin 18 is front and center, bare as a baby's bottom. Now, if you like to watch luxury content here on YouTube, especially Hermes content, then I am sure you are already familiar with Aelysee, a brand that specializes in creating beautiful bag charms that live up to the standard quality and beauty of Hermes handbags. Now, I love the fact that the founder is a collector of the Hermes cadena or padlock charms and took that passion and turned it into a business. Like, as a business professor, I love startup stories like that. Now, since one of my bag goals this summer is to use my Picotin more, I talked about that being one of my least used bags, only because I don't feel like I have an occasion to use it. But you know what? We are going to make occasions this summer. And so I wanted to unbox this bag charm with you because I think it's going to look so beautiful with the Picotin, and it's going to give it just that extra bit of sparkle for the summer. I'm just going to unbox this on camera, so let's just appreciate their packaging. It's so thoughtful and well done. So first up, we have a little shopping bag, and here's what the packaging looks like. Super, super well packaged. I mean, just look at the detail of the packaging. It's beautiful. So let's open her up. This is the box. Oh my goodness, I don't know if the camera's going to do it any justice, but I picked out the sparkling silver Pegasus charm. All right, I turned off my lights for a second just to see if that helps. But look at this. I can see why this is one of their best sellers. Like, even for someone like me, who's not like a sparkly diamond type person, like this just immediately caught my eye. So this is electroplated brass with cubic zirconia covering every bit of her except her little wings, her eyes, and her hair. And oh my goodness, this is so precious. I do have an Hermes Rodeo Pegasus, which clearly this takes inspiration from. And so yeah, this is perfect for Hermes lovers or for My Little Pony lovers who have since grown into bougie adults. Here's what the charm looks like on my Picotin 18. I think this is where it's going to stay permanently just because of the way the lock attaches. It's like she's flying across the night sky. Do you see that? Like, this is so precious, I could cry. So definitely check out Aelysee if you're looking for some beautifully made bag charms. And heck, you can use these on anything, not just Hermes bags. Like, they have a Bolide on Wheels inspired charm, which is freaking adorable. And that one comes with both a lock attachment and a chain. Also, I love how curated their collection is, but they are releasing new designs at the moment and new colors. Aelysee, if you are watching and or taking requests, I would love a cat or dog themed version of these cadenas. Please and thank you. I've been on a designer kick to commemorate my pets, such as my German Shepherd who recently passed, and I'm very much drawn to cat and dog themed designer stuff at the moment, so something like that would be such a meaningful way to personalize a bag. Just a suggestion. Now I'm gonna set her down so we can admire her for the rest of the video. So we'll start with my worst pair of designer shoes, and I'm sad to report that it would have to be these Chanel patent loafers. So pro tip, do not buy patent leather shoes. No matter how pretty they are, no matter how much you think they go with your wardrobe, just don't do it. They will never be broken in. The second coming will happen before these get broken in. And I really should have known better. So this one's on me. But if I were to take you back to the moment where I decided to buy these, I was on the hunt for a pair of classic black loafers. And of course, I had considered the usual suspects from Gucci and Prada. But when I saw these, I was like, why get a pair of boring black loafers? And now I'm very much regretting that decision. I should have gone with the boring black loafers, or I should have at least opted for something that was made of a softer leather, like any material that will mold to my feet. Now, these are gorgeous, by the way. I love the sparkly design. Again, I have an obsession with night sky designs and constellation design, so this is so beautiful. However, they are so insanely stiff. Like your foot feels like it's sandwiched in a vise between two blocks of solid wood. The first time I wore these without socks for an entire day, and I was crying by the end of it. Thankfully, I had band-aids in my catch-all, and I ended up using like 3 of them just on one foot though. The other foot was fine. Now, since then, I've been using a really thin pair of loafer sock liners, and thankfully those have helped in terms of comfort. But still, it's so hard to walk when you can't flex your foot at all, but man, they look good. Like with a pair of black cigarette pants, I mean, look-wise, perfection. Still, I consider these a fail because I am now still on the hunt for the perfect pair of black loafers. In terms of best, it's Chanel again. So you win some and you lose some. I finally caved and bought the Chanel espadrilles. Guys, I've been wanting these for so long, and I've watched so many reviews, and the verdict was just so split. I said, screw it, I'm just gonna buy me a pair and settle it for myself. Now, previously, I've only ever wanted the classic nude and black cap-toe version, and I made a video last year about how I went off the deep end when it came to Chanel shoe dupes, and I now have so many variations of that colorway, like these espadrilles from Michael Kors. And I also added these from Steve Madden's earlier this year. So I'm pretty sure I now have this colorway in every style of shoe besides a sneaker. So yeah, I'm pretty good there. And because the consensus for the Chanel espadrille seems to be that the nude color lambskin is delicate and will stain with rain or sweat, I decided to go with the hardier black denim version instead. My only gripe is because I have so much cat and dog hair in my house, I need to give these a good lint roll every time I wear them. But all in all, extremely happy to have crossed these off the list. But to be honest, we're barely getting started with summer, and I've only worn these a handful of times. However, I am planning on taking them on some upcoming trips where I will be wearing these for hours on end, days at a time, doing a ton of walking. So I'll be sure to update you after those trips are over. I don't buy a ton of designer clothing simply because it's not really my thing. I'd rather put my money into handbags and more recently into jewelry. But when I do buy designer clothing, I tend to buy casual wear like t-shirts and hoodies and sweatshirts. Just because that way when I want to dress like a slob, I won't be full slobbed. You know what I mean? It's terrible, I know. But that being said, I'm not proud of this next purchase. I bought this YSL sweater from The Real. Now, I've seen this sweater floating around several pre-loved sites for anywhere between $400 to $800. And guys, I bought this for $80. So it was discounted like 90% off The Real's list price. Now, to be fair, I really like the design. Remember, a little cat and dog themed obsessed at the moment. And I see this being such a vibe. With a pair of jeans and white sneakers and a trench coat. Like you see it too, right? And for $80 for a sweater that originally retailed for almost $1,000, I was willing to take the risk. This thing feels like sandpaper. What is this even made of? I meant that rhetorically because the tag says mohair, but man, I don't know about that. Now, on the bright side, I'll for sure have some sort of undershirt on, but 90% off retail or not, I think clothing brands should have the common courtesy to not make clothes out of sandpaper. Now, on the bright side, I guess I wouldn't have to exfoliate. Now, in terms of best, I know some of y'all are gonna fight me on whether Coach is luxury, but we're gonna go with it. So Coach has this cropped t-shirt, and I have not one, not two, but 3 of these. Now, I bought the red one last year, and these 2 went on sale earlier this year, and I just had to do it. Now, I paid somewhere in the region of $40 to $70, which is still pretty crazy. By the way, if you are looking for a super affordable boxy cropped tee, I bought one from Walmart for a measly $8, and by far one of my favorite new clothing pieces this year. But like I said, sometimes you want to be a slob, but like a fancy slob, and that's when these come in. Like, they're not too cropped at the bottom, and the sleeves are long enough for you to roll them up if you find them to be too boxy. And I actually quite like the logo tag. And yeah, I'm just a fan of these. This next category is hard, okay? I love all the jewelry pieces I have picked up this year, but if I had to pick my worst purchase, it would be my Tiffany Diamonds by the Yard single pendant necklace. Now, don't get me wrong, this is beautiful. This is the perfect daily necklace and or stacking piece, but I could have saved myself a bit of money going the more generic route. For something like this, like, you don't have to go for a well-known designer brand. Like, I could have saved myself a lot of money and just picked up something similar from my local jewelry store for a fraction of the price. And if I still wanted something from a brand like Cartier or Tiffany, I could have put those savings towards some of the more exceptional iconic pieces. Now, my best jewelry purchase is easy, and that's also because I'm cheating here, but it would have to be my Cartier Trinity rope bracelet and my small Trinity ring. They're both from the Trinity collection, so I'm just going to count them as a set, even though I did buy them separately at different times. I do have an unboxing video of the rope bracelet, and I'll link that below. And this was part of a matching bracelet situation with my mom. I think my husband is now waiting until we get to go to the store for him to buy his so they can fit one to his giant man wrist. So thank you to those of you who commented to let us know that was a possibility. And of course, when it comes to the Trinity ring in the small size, like, this is just such a joy to wear. It's like a really bougie fidget ring. Like, when I'm thinking or even when I'm lecturing, I do find myself playing with it quite a bit. Hence, even though I've only had it for under half a year, it's pretty well scratched up now. Finally, let's end with bags. I feel like I've been saying this a lot, but there really haven't been many bags that have caught my eye this year, and so I really haven't bought that many, but I can confidently tell you which is my worst bag purchase so far of 2024 because I don't even have it anymore, and it is the YSL Le Monogram Canvas Satchel. Again, there is nothing wrong with that bag. It's actually a fantastic little satchel, and the monogram is so well done. It's so subtle and classy, but the problem is I have so many everyday casual bags that I really had no reason bringing home another. It's like the classic white t-shirt example. Like, I love me a good white tee, which means I like shopping for white tees, but it also means I probably already have a closet full of white tees. And considering I bought the satchel maybe like a week or two after I bought the mini base water, I should not have bought two bags that I plan to use in the same way for the same occasion so close together. And if I had to choose between the two, hands down, the mini base water was the winner. So I made the decision to let that one go, and funds from selling that bag are now sitting in my wishlist bag fund instead. Now, having said all that, you may have guessed that the Mulberry Mini Base Water would be my best handbag purchase. And while this is a very good purchase, I'm actually going to have to say it's not my best for this year. Plus, I bought this in December of 2023. Instead, the best undoubtedly would be my large Fendi Peekaboo. Now, I think partly that's because I don't know if I just set the bar too low for this bag, but it has just exceeded all expectations for me. Like, this was honestly the best $600 I have ever spent on a pre-loved bag. Now, I've made an entire dedicated review video, which will be coming up next, but this has definitely got me rethinking what's missing in my collection, especially in terms of color and design, because both the yellow and the Zucca print were not things I would have considered in the past. And there you have it, my best and worst purchases thus far for the first half of 2024. Let me know down in the comments below what your best and worst purchases have been in these categories and why. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And don't forget to have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.